All right, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking specifically about using email to launch products profitably. This is my jam. This is my sweet sauce. All of my businesses are built on this foundation. This is kind of the underlying foundation for pretty much everything, every business that I build. Even now, my strategy I invest in and work with physical products brands. My sweet spot is when somebody's got a big list. And one of the things that where I'm going in my personal career is I am just partnering with people who have the audiences, because my team can develop the physical products line. If they've got a big audience and a big list, I know I can smash this out of the park. I was a little bit nervous putting these slides together and this presentation for together because this is my secret sauce. Like, this is the good stuff. And I break it down pretty specifically. And my fear is that after seeing this, you're going to be like, oh, that's what Ryan does. Like, you're going to have braingasms as a result of just, if you are here watching this, you probably got here because of something that I did that I'll be teaching in this class. So in the spirit of no secrets, you're going to really see the strategies that I deploy in my physical products brands and my personal following, and with my consulting and clients who pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. I have used these strategies, like just what we're teaching in today's class. I have used this to take a business from $80,000 a month in sales to $240,000 a month in sales in 60 days. I also used these same strategies to take, so that previous one was a digital products brand. I took a physical products brand from $120,000 a month in sales to $280,000 a month in sales in 90 days. I have used this sequence to fill up events. I have used these sequences to get hundreds of reviews. This is the foundation for everything that I do. I'm in front of a blank whiteboard. I don't know if I'm going to use the whiteboard, but I wanted to have it in the event that I needed to draw anything out. So this is my 4-part email launch and other mysterious and mischievous email secrets. So the foundation of this strategy is a launch sequence that I use. And the purpose of this sequence is to make promotions feel like launches, even if it's an old product. So if you've got a product that has been sitting on the shelves, not moving, or you have a brand new product, the strategies work exactly the same. But this was developed with the idea of, if I had a product and the product wasn't new, how could I create that same type of newness factor, that same type of excitement around something without burning my list? How could I do that? And that was how this conversation started, and it's been refined and formalized, systemized, formulaicized over the last 8 years of my career. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and jump in. First, I want to talk about why the heck you should care about email marketing, because it's not 2009 anymore. I don't know if you heard, but 2009 ended a while ago. So if you thought it was 2009, spoiler alert, it's no longer 2009. So open rates on emails are supposedly way down, right? It's not cool, it's not sexy to promote via email anymore. So why should you care? And the reason is a couple. First of all, email. Email is the #1 click to conversion source of traffic. By this I mean, when it comes to click to purchase, email is the #1 converting source. Not Facebook, not social media, not YouTube, not direct mail. Opening an email, clicking on a link, and going to an opportunity to buy is the highest converting traffic source. So having an email list is not just a good idea. It is still today the highest converting place to send customers to get them to buy more from you. Number one place. Now, if you also look at email compared to other mediums, email is the one format where you are completely in control. There's a company that we like to model called The Hustle, thehustle.co. The Hustle is a newsletter company, and their entire strategy is getting people to opt in, not follow them on social media, not buy on Amazon. It's to give us your darn email address. The entire business is built on email, and it's only been around for a couple of years. What they say is that every other media source is getting slaughtered by Facebook. So in like 2014, 15, you have kind of the rise of clickbait, and that never ends well when people are just maximizing for exposure. And what the founder, Sam, noticed was that, well, this isn't going to end well, but I'll always control someone's email address. Unless they opt out, I can be in front of them at the click of a button. So they built the entire business based on email. And now when they send out a broadcast, there's 600,000 people who open the email. Open the email. It's absurd. That's nuts. Okay? Most YouTube videos don't get 600,000 opens or views. Even if you are Gary Vaynerchuk with 2 million followers on YouTube, most of his messages don't get seen by 600,000 people. And this is just a media source that most of you haven't heard of. Tim Ferriss follows this strategy. If you listen to Tim, Tim actually is one of the advisors and investors to The Hustle. He was inspired by them to start building his email list. So when he sends out an email, he gets 60% open rates, according to Tim. What does that tell you? Email is not dead, especially while Facebook is making crazy changes. While every other medium is suffering, email is still the number one source of conversions, and it's the one source where you still completely own the medium. No one else can get in front of it. No one else can adjust your email message. You are in control of the entire experience. All right. Email is also the only medium in which I'm aware of you can hit send and make money. Like, you hit send, sales show up. You hit send again, more sales show up. You can retarget only the people who didn't open, only the people who didn't click. You can isolate, hey, I saw you opened the message and you didn't click the darn link. What are you doing? You can isolate just the people who clicked. And you can say, hey, I saw you clicked on it. I know you want it. WTF, right? The targeting is not just like a shotgun approach. You can get very, very micro based on people's behavior inside of the buying experience. So email is unique in that way, especially when a couple tweaks of the dial with as high as conversion rates are in email can massively change the success of a campaign. In light of that, the last point is that you get immediate feedback from leads and from buyers. Immediate feedback. People can reply to the email and give you feedback. You get data based on sales and open rates. I mean, if you think about this, sometimes I have a message, I have an email that goes out that just kills it, but my open rates were terrible. So for the next week, all I have to do is remail to unopens. It's beautiful. Like, I don't have to think about content. I know the email didn't suck because I'm getting clicks and sales from the email. I just know that 70% of people didn't open the email, so I'm just going to keep remarketing, keep hitting send to unopens. all I got to do. And money just keeps coming in. Sales just keep on coming in. So one of the things I like to do is send out an email, mail to those who didn't open twice, and then I just got to follow up with the people who opened the email. Those people who are interested in whatever it is that I'm promoting right now. Makes my life really easy when I know exactly who's interested. Exactly. And I can hit a button and be in front of them. So this is the foundation for all of the businesses that I build, all the successful promotions that I do. I way outpull Facebook, YouTube, way outpull via email. Now, all of those other things, Facebook, YouTube, a podcast, all of that serves the function of bringing more people into the sales process of email. But at the end of the day, I want somebody on my list because I know that I can lead them towards becoming a buyer. All right, so that's why this matters. That's why this is important right now. Email is the foundation of all of my businesses, and here's some of the data to support why. I know we've been able to prove this time and time again, that when there's a product we want to promote, we can move 500 to 1,000 units, even if it's a brand new product, especially if it's a brand new product, with 0 reviews, with no social proof, without doing crazy discounts. If something is brand new to the marketplace, I can smash that. If something is old to the marketplace, we're going to go over some ways that we can refresh it in the minds of our email subscribers and get that same type of launch experience, even if it's not a brand new product. So I've proven even with small lists. So the example I like to tell is we had a product that was, we wanted to be super high end with the product. We wanted it to be a positioned as like a premium product. So we did a pre-launch campaign for this. It was at a discount, but it was at a very profitable discount, meaning we were going to sell it at like $50 or $60. Cost of goods was, $3 or $4, and we were selling it for somewhere around $20. So it was still really, really profitable. Just wasn't as high as we wanted to go to market with it. We did a pre-sale. And with a list of about 5,000 people, we sold 1,000 units of that product. 1,000 units profitably. Just for a second, imagine if you knew that every time you had a new product, you could smash 1,000 sales out of the get-go. What could 1,000 action takers do for your Kickstarter campaigns? Do for your Amazon rankings? Do for your funnel conversions? Like, could you optimize a funnel a lot faster if you knew you're going to get 1,000 sales out of the get-go with a list of 5,000? I'm going to show you exactly how we did this. This is also how you can fund product development. Because if you've got an email list, you can send to pre-sale orders and then fund the rest of that development. So we've done as much as $200,000 in pre-sales for products before the product existed. By the way, that's the entire premise of Kickstarter. That's the entire premise of crowdfunding campaigns. And this works a lot better and faster, Kickstarter and crowdfunding does, if you have the outside traffic to give it a lift. And if it's the #1 converting traffic source, email, you can smash a Kickstarter, put it on the map quickly, get a whole bunch of momentum. And most people, most of your competitors are just coming up with products, throwing them up on Kickstarter or Amazon or ClickBank, and not doing any of the marketing to an email list that is going to give it the lift to maximize that channel. But I've built my entire career off the idea of maximizing the channel. So Amazon ranks us for sales and conversion rate. Great, let's go build a ginormous email list of 5,000 people, not a big deal, that buys from us so we can game Amazon. Meaning we can have a high number of conversions coming from our email list to Amazon, which is going to give us a huge surge of momentum. Same thing with Kickstarter, right? Kickstarter rewards number of backers. They reward buzz. And if you've got an email list that you've been nurturing that you can smash over to Kickstarter, what is that going to do for your exposure on Kickstarter? And that opens you up to press and PR and all kinds of stuff, all right? This is why you should care. And when all else fails, your email list is like this trusted friend that wants to open up opportunities, give you sales, and immediate customer feedback. All right? It is like the tried and trusted best friend that is always there for momentum that can be pulled at any time. All right. So when I talk about email, this could also apply. This is big. Tune in, Tokyo. Listen. There are other forms of broadcasts that are not just email. So this will apply to some extent to other forms of broadcast. So I'm talking about email when I say this, because that's the medium that I'm most comfortable with. But this also applies pretty much equally to Messenger and ManyChat, because it's a mechanism for getting a message out to people at the click of a button. Tyler, you can do this with ManyChat, right? Send your entire list with one click. All right, cool. So you can click send, be in front of hundreds or thousands of people on ManyChat and Messenger as well. The next is your Amazon email list. Now, not all of the same rules are going to apply, because Amazon has their own crazy changes to terms of service all the time. So you'll need to evaluate which of these strategies apply if you're sending out messages via Amazon. But Amazon has a way to get in front of all of your customers at a click, right? If you're using Feedback5 or MerchB or whatever service you use to follow up with customers, you are able to broadcast. Excuse me, you can't segment quite as well, but you can be in front of a whole lot of people. And then the final one is Facebook groups. To some extent, posting in Facebook groups is a broadcast medium. You're in front of hundreds or thousands of people very quickly. So everything that we're going to go through also has applications into other places. These are all distribution mechanisms. In fact, we're going to be running some tests later this year via direct mail. Can we use the same overall strategies via direct mail? And we'll find out. But the idea here is, what of these strategies apply via other broadcast types and not just email? All right, so let's break this down. What I've kind of built all my promotion strategies around is what I call a magic four-part email series, all right? So I never come up with a better name for it, but it's this four-part series on which I have built everything. Can we see this on screen? Are we clear here? Yep. All right, cool. So there's 4 parts to this, and the magic here is to create an event. It's an experience. There's a reason for why the promotion exists. And what this does is, when done in this way, it doesn't burn your list. It actually enhances your list. So this is a series, not just an email. It's a structured beginning, middle, end. So people either tune in or they tune out. It's rare that they just look at it. They're either in the experience or they're not in the experience, all right? So the first email, and we're going to break these down in detail, but email 1 is a story and an offer. One of my mentors, Travis, likes to tell a story about his highest converting structure for this. His highest converting offer ever was the Hell Hath Frozen Over Sale. The Hell Hath Frozen Over Sale was simply, I live in Arkansas. It never snows here. It's pouring snow. I'm pretty sure hell hath frozen over, so here's a discount for my product. You do not need to be magic at this. It doesn't need to be a great story. It doesn't need to be a great offer. It's just there's a reason. There's something going on, and we're going to create a promotion around it. We're going to create a series around it. Number 2 is very simply a reminder, and sometimes we might call it like a favorite part, a special use. There's a highlight, all right? What this really is a highlight. So for example, actually we'll go into examples in a second, but in email 2, it simply exists to remind the reader of the offer, and we might highlight something special about the product or service that we're promoting. Number 3, email 3, we introduce a deadline. This is going to end at a specific point. And then number 4 is always a final notice. All right, so I'm going to break this down into detail, but this is the structure of my magic 4-part email series that doesn't burn your list, that gets a crazy, crazy response rate. All right, let's break this down in detail. Email 1, this first email, this story can be a personal story, or it can be something going on in the news. It could be a famous story. The idea here is to just highlight something going on. And I have done this or I've told stories from college. I remember I did a promotion once where I simply talked about a story that I had learned in one of my business classes. And the story was that they did a test. They took a test group, 2 test groups, and they put them in the woods. And they gave one group no map to get back to base. They gave the other group a map that was the wrong map. And what they were testing for is who gets back to base faster. Does anybody want to guess who got back to base faster? The person with no map at all, or the map to the wrong place? What do we got?
Drew says no map. Oh, Jeremy says map.
We have 1 no map, 1 map.
Oh man, this response rate's terrible.
Wrong map.
Someone says wrong
No
map.
map, no map.
No map.
All right, so we're split across the board. All right, answer. What they found is that the people who had no map had no direction. So they bickered and fought. The people with a map started moving, started taking action, and then they course corrected. So they beat the pants off the team with no map at all. So there was direction, there was movement. Now that's interesting, and I just told you that story. I'm probably butchering what really happened, but it's a cool story. I don't even know if the story's true. Sounds cool though, right? There's like a life lesson to it. So what I did was I created a promotion that was called the Get Out of the Woods bonus. I did not know what I was going to call the bonus when I started telling the story and writing the email. I just told the story about getting out of the woods. Here's what they found. Introducing the Get Out of the Woods bonus. Now I've got an offer that's tied to the story. So the offer is now tied psychologically to the story. Now, how does this apply to you? What I'm going to do is so I was promoting an affiliate offer. When you buy, I don't even remember what the product was. this was back, I was in college when I did this. I said, all right, so when you buy so-and-so's product, I'm going to give you a map that is steps you can take to implement it or something like that, right? So I'm going to give you the map to this course. Sales came in like crazy. Just came in like crazy. So the structure here is there's a story, there's an offer tied to the story, and it's absolutely essential that you name the offer. You make it a thing. The offer has a name, and you're going to name it around the story that you just told. Now, we're going to do, if you want to be perfect on this, if you want to get extra oomph for this, what you would do is you would just mention that there's only a certain number available. That's not hashtag scarcity, that's number scarcity. All right, so now you never want to sell out. So you want this number to be higher than what you think you're going to sell. So if you think you're going to sell 500, say you've got 1,000 available. You very rarely want to sell. Now, in some cases, you might want to sell out so that later you could say, last time we did this, we totally sold out. You might want to do that. All right, so, and if you want to be perfect on this, what I like to do is compare this number to something else. For example, if we were doing this to my audience, I would say, look, there are only 100 tickets available. There's only 100 tickets left. Over 1,000 people came last year. 70,000 people are seeing this email, and we're going to post it on Facebook in front of 250,000 people. And there's 100 left. Here's the link to get it. See what I just did there? So always compare it to something else if you want to be perfect on this. If you don't have to do that, but you should do a number that are available that you don't want to run out of. All right, so the first email, tell a quick story. This is hell half frozen over. It's the get out of the woods bonus. You tie that to the offer, whatever it is that you're doing, it's the discount. So here would be a good example for you Amazon sellers. What we used to do when we were like selling a fat loss supplement, for example, we would take a review and it would be written by Jody. Jody used our weight loss product to lose 35 pounds. Woo! We'd tell a story about Jody and her struggles as a mom, and she's too busy to work out, and she took our pills, she lost 35 pounds. We're so proud. Introducing the We Want More Jody's discount. So we're just taking the story, tying the offer back to the story. We want more Jody's. That's the reason why we're emailing you. We want more Jody's, right? So we decided to take our fat loss supplement, and we're partnering. When you buy our fat loss supplement or try our fat loss supplement this month, we're going to throw in a special step-by-step guide that's going to give you a 30-day plan of what to eat, what not to eat, what workouts to do. We're doing this for the next 30 days because we're trying to get as many Jodys as possible and get them ready for Mother's Day. That's your offer. By the way, we're doing this as a small test to see what kind of amazing results we get for women. And so we're looking for 100 people to do this with. By the way, we sell thousands of these every month, so we expect these to go really quickly. All right, I just made up that email. That's your structure. Story about Jody, introduce the bonus. There was no discount. tied in a bonus, limited number of people, there is your first email. Give me some hashtags in the, give me a yay or a nay or some hashtags in the chat box if this makes sense. Can I move on from here?
Jody. Hashtag yay.
All right, hashtag Jody, I like that. Okay, so that's email 1. This, a really good one, will take me about an hour to write. And then basically all the hard work is done for the week. Now, I will usually drip these out. For no other reason, I tend to do these like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. That is not advice. It's just what I tend to do. You can do them whenever you want. But I do tend to structure it so that all 4 emails go out by the end of the week. All right, so that's email 1. That's the hard one. The rest are super easy. Emails 2 through 4. Let's go through these. Email 2 is very simply a reminder. Hey, just in case you didn't see this, wanted to remind you about the We Want More Jodies bonus package. We're trying to get 100 moms in shape for Mother's Day. And remember how I said here, you might introduce a highlight? It might be something like, our favorite thing about this fat loss supplement is that its foundational ingredient is green tea extract. So you know you're getting a natural product that is going to work for you. It sounds like an infomercial now. I regret this example. But then you might highlight something about the product. And that's your email. Just want to remind you about the We Want More Jodies discount or bonus package. We're doing 100 of these. Here's the link to get it. Now, I will also remail this one. I'll remail that all day long till the cows come home. And then emails 2 through 4, we're going to send out to either everyone, if you're not remailing, or you would just email to people who opened the first email. That way you're not bothering the people who didn't express interest in this first offer. So this is it. It's just a reminder. Number 3, you introduce a deadline. Hey, we've been inviting people to join us on the We Want More Jodies bonus package. We're doing this because we want to help 100 moms before Mother's Day. And because we're going to get started, we're ending this promotion on X date at X time. There's a deadline and a reason for the deadline. So make sure you grab this before Friday at midnight, because we're going to get started on Saturday morning. Or we want to have all these wrapped up by the weekend, so sign up by Friday at 5. I'm going on vacation next week, and I need to get all these wrapped up by X day. There's a reason. It doesn't have to be a good reason. Just needs to be a reason. What's the reason for the deadline? Give them a reason. I don't want to blow up your inbox all week long, so I'm ending this discount, I'm ending this promotion tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Easy enough, okay? And then email 4 is a final notice. This is the last time you're going to hear me talk about the Jodies discount. This is the last time you're going to hear about this promotion. This is the last email you're going to receive about X. This is your final notice. Here's what we're doing. It's sometimes one paragraph with one caveat. All of these emails 2, 3, and 4, all end with this. P.S. In case you missed the original announcement, I've pasted it below. For example, your reminder email might read something like this. Hey moms, we wanted to remind you that we're doing a bonus package this week because we got an awesome review from a woman named Jody who used our weight loss product to lose 35 pounds. We're on a mission to help 100 moms lose weight before Mother's Day, so we put together a bonus package to help them do that quickly and as painlessly as possible. Here's the link to get it. P.S. In case you missed the original announcement email, we've included it below. Paste the original email. That's your email. A paragraph or two, and then all the heavy lifting is done with this, that first email. So your emails 2, 3, and 4 are very, very, very simple, quick, fast, easy. But the email 1 is always included. Sometimes when I'm in a hurry, I change like a couple. So I'm embarrassed to admit this. A lot of times, I don't feel like writing this email. I'm like, oh, I've already sent this email. I've already done this promotion 3 times. So I just take the deadline email where it's like, hey, we've decided to end this by tomorrow at midnight. And all I change is tonight, tomorrow to tonight. Like, I don't want to send another. So all I do is change the final notice email to, I change one word. One word. So the first email takes some thought. Emails 2, 3, and 4 are just a formula. Plug it in. All right, I got more I want to share, but I want to pause for a second. And if there's questions, why don't we take up to 3?
Okay.
Up to 3 questions, and then I'm going to move into some more stuff. So I'll pause here for a second. What you got?
Got a hashtag bomb.
Yeah, it's very good question.
That's dope.
So first question comes from Grain. When you're resending emails to your unopens, do you change the title of the email or
Yes.
anything else before you send it?
Absolutely change the subject line of the email, because that's the thing. That's the reason you delete emails, right? You delete emails because you weren't into whatever the subject line was. They don't even know what the email was about, right? So they don't know what the content of the email was. So I always, unless I just got an absurd open rate on something, I'm going to change whatever it was, and then that's the only change I'm making.
Okay.
Good question.
And Kelsey asks, do you tend to prefer plain text emails with a simple product image or a full HTML email design?
Show me a test in which HTML outpulls text. I've never seen one. I have companies that come to me that are like, oh, we don't have a graphics person for our HTML emails. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that some people send HTML emails. I never, ever send HTML emails. And by this I mean prettied up graphic emails. Like, you have never seen me in any of my companies send out an email with a bunch of graphics. I might have one image in there. So I'm using like the HTML editor on ActiveCampaign or Aweber, but it's all text, all text. It is not like the whole like graphical template stuff. The only company that I have seen do that well is Mizzen in Maine. I'm wearing them right now. It's the only company I've seen do well with HTML emails. Everything else is like, I don't want it. I don't want it as a consumer. I don't want to make it as a writer, plain text all day long.
Nice. A couple people have asked this, are asking this question. I'm assuming you might get into it, but how do you get the emails in the first
Yeah, we'll get there.
We're gonna get there?
We'll get there.
Okay, cool. And then just to make it 3 questions, Jeremy asks, why are you remailing people? If they didn't answer the first time, why do you bother them?
Because most of the time, the reason they didn't open is because the subject line did interest for them for some reason. So test another subject line.
So you re-email part 1.
Correct.
Over and over again.
Correct. Yeah. Assuming it's working.
Yeah.
If it's not converting, you might have just written a crappy email. All right, let's move on. What are the reasons? What would you do with this? How would you deploy this? Just so you know, I used to do an entire one-day workshop just on this 4-part sequence. And we spent a lot of time going into how the heck would you deploy this. But we're going to go into this quickly. You might do it to promote affiliate products. If you've got email addresses, you might promote somebody else's products to monetize your list. You don't just have to sell your own stuff. If you run a physical products brand that sells magnetic erasers, and you're like, well, shoot, all I sell is magnetic erasers. Was there somebody else that sells whiteboards? Can you be an affiliate for this? And are the profit margins on promoting this as high as this? A lot of times, yeah. So and this is a great way to test products, by the way. Use your list to test offers. Sell other people's products. Do it. It increases the amount of money that you get from every customer. By the way, this also works if you have affiliates that are promoting your stuff. Giving them this as a template for promoting you kills it. Here's an example. I had a product years ago that was about flipping websites. And this was a product that I had on clickbank.com. And I sold maybe like $100 to $300 a day in this product. So made a few $1,000s a month. One day, I fired up my list and I wrote out this sequence. And I queued it up and I mailed it to my list. That week, I did over $20,000 in sales for this product. It wasn't a new product. They had seen it before, but it looked new because there was a new promotion. I highlighted a different piece of the product. I created a nice story around it, made the offer. I gave them a deadline, $20,000 in sales that week. That's interesting. So this is on ClickBank. What happens if I take those same emails and I give them to an affiliate who's going to promote? My product jumped from $100 a day in sales to $4,000 a day in sales.
Just got a massive hashtag.
Now, let me tell you why this happened. ClickBank is a marketplace, just like Amazon, just like Kickstarter. So when I promoted it to my list and there was this surge of sales, it climbed a little bit in the marketplace. I gave this sequence to a couple affiliates that I trusted. I had a buddy, his name was Steve. He lived in Pittsburgh. He ran a little blog. He sent out email number 1. Now, Steve was used to making from his blog about $200 a day. He was making about six grand a month blogging. I gave him this sequence. He sent it out to his list. He sent me a text message that said, I've made $500 in the last 30 minutes. What have I been doing with my life? 2 days later, after making $8 grand in affiliate commissions, Steve hopped on a plane from Pittsburgh to Austin, Texas to sit down and say, WTF are you doing that I'm not? And I said, this. That was it. So what that did is I had all these affiliates starting to promote my product. They were using this sequence. I popped to the top of ClickBank. And now all these people are starting to see me and promote me. Went from $100 a day to $4,000 a day in sales. And that was, sorry, not sales. That was profit to me. My take. I'm done. I'm out. Like, I could leave now, right? Like, do you get this? That's the power of having this asset and deploying it well. Just talking about this is like, why the hell don't we do ClickBank products? Like, why don't we do this anymore? It works so well, we stopped doing it. Okay. So affiliate promotions are the first thing, and you can take this same swipe, give it to your affiliates, give it to your influencers. If you've got Instagram people you sponsor, give them this as a template. You want 4 posts that follow this sequence. It will change the response rate of everything that you do, beginning, middle, and end. It changes everything. This will also give you what I'll call an audience lift. You want to make a piece of content spread faster, you got an ad that you want a lot of comments on, and you want to game Facebook's algorithm, do a 4-part sequence specifically around the Facebook ad. You send the traffic to the Facebook ad to get comments and shares, and you create a promotion around it. You create a reason for them to get involved. You can also do this around discounts, new product launches. You want to make Kickstarter go crazy? Deploy this sequence. Or any reason for a promotion. Prime Day, a bonus, hell hath frozen over, it's Tuesday and I'm bored. Any reason is a good reason to promote via the 4-part sequence. We'll also do this for surveys and customer feedback. So we're soliciting feedback from our audience. We'll do some sort of a reason behind why we need feedback, and we'll send it out via the 4-part sequence, along with a bribe for what happens when they give us their feedback. All right, let's move on. Question comes up a lot. What about content? What content do we want? Like, what content do we send our email list when we're not promoting something? The only thing you need to know about content via email is to send out more of what people have previously said they want from you. If someone is a buyer, don't send them blog posts. If someone opted in for an ebook for a specific result, send them more about the result. They gave you their email address for a reason, give them more of that. So what a lot of specifically physical product sellers will do is they'll say, I have this magnetic whiteboard eraser. I'm going to make a blog post about 12 ways to use your magnetic eraser. No! Send them more promotions for this. This is what they want. Give them more chances for this. That's how you create engagement. You don't need to give them a bunch of content. Just give them more of what they previously said that they want. Sometimes that is content. If you're a blogger, they probably want content. If you're not a blogger, don't send them content. Give them more opportunities to buy. That is the content. It's why they're on your email list, because they bought from you. That should free you up from thinking about, well, what am I going to put on my blog so I can email my list? Don't do any of it. This is why I say, and I should have clarified this so much more. This is why I say 80% of the time, content doesn't matter, because most of you are not content companies. So stop trying to make content. All right. You guys feel like we're good to move on to another strategy? All right, I'm going to give you another strategy that is not the 4-part sequence. We call this the hand raise. The hand raise is a way of using broadcasts to segment exactly who wants your thing and then closing them from there. All right. So this is a writer downer. Customer service loops, customer service is one of the highest converting sales mechanisms. And the reason is because when someone writes in, they have raised their hand and said, I want something. So customer service should be a profitable center for you. This should make you feel a lot better about not doing your own customer service. Customer service should be profitable, should be scalable. It's one of the highest converting mechanisms. So one of the things we'll do is we'll encourage people to write into our customer service team so we can address certain things and get them to buy more, which, knowledge bomb here, this is how we ask for reviews on physical products without breaking terms of service. We get them to write to us. I'll share some examples in a second, but I am not going out and being like, leave a review. No, we want them to write to us so that we can be in a customer service loop, kill them with kindness, love on them. Then we might ask for a review. It's a way to capture the experience before we send them off to Amazon. If somebody had a bad experience and you say, please leave a review, you better frickin' believe they're gonna click that link and give you feedback. But if you get them to write into customer service and they're like, you frickin' scammer, great. We can serve this person, defuse the bomb, and then if later they're like, this was actually the greatest customer service experience I've ever had, awesome. Would you be willing to make an edit to your 1-star review and let us know? That is a much more effective strategy. So we try to get people to write into customer service. We call it the hand raise. Reply to this email. Write to us at this account. Do you want this? Write to us. We want those. Those are inbound sales, guys. Those are people saying, sell me something. They're inbound sales. Now we can also do this with Facebook or with ManyChat. You might have seen people who will say, hey, if I decided to do this, would you want it? Comment below. Comment in below and I'll send you details. I've done this with Facebook groups. This is oftentimes how I'll fill my Facebook groups. So you've seen the previous lessons about Facebook groups. A lot of times the way I'll fill that is by posting on my public page, hey, I'm thinking about doing a Facebook page, a Facebook group all about this. Would you want it? If so, say yes in the comments. If I don't get a few hundred yeses, I just save myself a whole hell of a lot of work. If I get a few hundred yeses, I've got several hundred people to funnel into a Facebook group right away and start doing launches. See what I mean? We're getting the first yes. This is a good story that will help illustrate this. People will often ask me, how do you connect with high-level people? For example, I can't share that one yet. Not for example, I have started doing some consulting and some partnerships with celebrities, not just like internet marketing celebrities, but like very well-known people. And people ask, how did you open up that relationship? The answer is you always, always, always go for the smallest, easiest yes possible. The thing that just drives me crazy is the people who write me on Instagram DM and are like, hey, will you mentor me? No, dick. I don't know who you are. That's not an easy yes. When you're making connections with people, are you going for the smallest yes possible? A small yes is, hey, I saw you're doing a book launch. Is it okay if I post about it on my Facebook and hold a Facebook Live on my own to promote your book? Yes. In the same, that's how you open up relationships. Guys in the room, if you go for the big ask when you haven't gone out with a girl, what does she do? You know what I mean by the big ask, right? Okay. Okay, got it. What's that?
Get creeped out.
What happens is she slaps you and says you're an ass and runs away. As she should, you creep. Smallest yes possible. Can I buy you a drink? Are you open to a conversation about blank? Can I take you out? Answer still might be no, but it's a much smaller yes. So why in your public persona when working with customers are you going for the big ask, buy my thing? What's the smallest yes possible? Would you want this? Let me know. It might be, welcome to our company. We'd love to send you a $20 gift card to anything in our store. Would you want it? If so, reply to this email and we'll get it to you. That's an easy yes. That's a way to create raving fans. Another example of an easy yes is a squeeze page with a give. Would you want this free thing? Great way to start a customer relationship. So many of you are doing the Shopify thing where you are sending Facebook traffic to Shopify without any yes in between, without any way to get them to say, yes, I want something. So you have no rapport with that person. None. What's the easiest, smallest, quickest yes you can get? This is why this strategy of the hand raise works so well. In customer service loops, when you send out emails, if you get them to reply, those are inbound sales. In Facebook or ManyChat, you can automate this whole process. You get them to reply with yes. Now you've got a whole customer service loop that's automated. I'm super high on Messenger right now, super high on this. By the way, you can also do this with Amazon. This is a way to get around the whole 2 email maximum on promoting to Amazon customers. Because if they write to you, now it's a customer service loop. Now you can take them on whatever experience you want. You guys getting this? When you have the customer's attention, you can guide them wherever you want. So we do this with a hand raise. We do it in Facebook groups. We do it with Messenger. We do it with Facebook ads. When we start talking about ManyChat, you'll probably hear Ezra talk about how if they want to get more ManyChat subscribers, they'll do a coupon with a demo video. Demo video is here's how we use the magic magnetic eraser. And then if you want it, comment coupon below and we'll send you a message with the coupon. Easy yes. And all the people who said coupon are raising their hand saying, I want this thing. Same exact idea. What's the smallest action? Sometimes it's reply to an email, write into us. This is the hand raise. All right. Now here are some examples of how you might use this. We're thinking about releasing a new type of sleep mask. Would you want one? It's a great way to test products before we ever put any work into it. Hey, would you want, if we were to do a supplement that did X, Y, and Z, would you want it? Yes. Oh, great example. Thank you, Chris. Chris just gave me a great example of this. There's a guy I met that I'm friends with on Facebook, and I can't think of his name. Do you have any of those friends? Any friends like that? I got, his name is Steve. His name is Steve. I can't remember his last name. It doesn't matter. Steve is a health and fitness guy. Very well built. I don't even know what his business is, but he puts on Facebook, he'll put like health and fitness tips on Facebook. I don't know what his business is, but he posts a lot, like on his personal Facebook page, and like a bunch of people will interact with them and he'll answer their questions. I think it's something he just does for fun. So one day he posts on his personal Facebook page, and I don't think he was following any strategy, guys and gals. I think he was just doing this for like out of pure curiosity. He said, hey, if I developed a supplement that boosted your immune system and curbed hunger cravings, would you want it? And then he said, I would, this is so good. I don't even know if he was trying to be markety, but it was really smart. He said, in order to cover my costs, I would need at least 75 people to buy it. So if I get 75 people to say they'll do it, I'll go ahead and develop it. Now, I don't know if he wanted to build a company around it or if he was just doing it like for fun, but all of these come in. Once he hit 75, he was like, hey, great. I'm going to go ahead and put up a pre-order page, and it was a link to ClickFunnels. A link to ClickFunnels that very simply was an order form for like $100, and it was there to cover his development costs. This is all done on his personal Facebook page. Easy yes. Would you want it? Yes. Second yes is great. Go ahead and put a deposit down, and then I'll develop it. Doesn't that feel so much easier than what most of you are doing of like, I'm going to do all this work, send it over to Amazon and try and sell it. He didn't have a website. He didn't have an Amazon store. He pre-sold hundreds of units of this product. Get this. He posted, this is how rudimentary he is. He didn't even use like Amazon FBA. He's like, hey, I'm in Austin this weekend. This is literally a couple of days ago. He says, hey, I'm in Austin this weekend. If any of you put down pre-orders and you want to just pick it up from me directly, let me know and we'll meet up and I'll give you the pre-order. Super rudimentary, right? And so now he's going to have 100 people or whatever it is giving him feedback on the product. It's a profitable product launch. Look at that. Now, is that person going to be more or less likely to leave Steve a review? Probably not going to have to beg very much for it. That's an engaged buyer, right? So you can do this before you develop any new product. Hey, we're thinking about doing a new sleep mask. Would you want one? Yes, saw you're doing a new sleep mask. Hey, great. Why don't you go ahead and put down a deposit and you'll be first in line to get it as soon as it's ready. Does that sound more enjoyable? Does that sound easier to have the money come up front? You can do this with Kickstarter. You can do this with your own email list. You can do this on ManyChat. You can do this through, I don't know if it violates Amazon's terms of service, but you could theoretically do it through Amazon. So that's one way you could deploy this. Number two, hey, we've got a new VIP list that gives people first dibs on new products. Would you want it? Quest Nutrition does this really well. Hey, we've got a VIP list. We release new flavors and samples and front of the line access. Would you want it? If so, here's a link to go get it. The hand raise. Yeah, I want to be on your VIP list. I didn't say discount list. Didn't say you're going to get free stuff. It's first dibs. First dibs. Front of the line access. Would you want it? Yeah, totally. You get those people to say yes, follow up with them, put them on a special email list, put them in a Facebook group. Now you've got your review list. A totally cool and ethical and upfront within Amazon's terms of service review group. That's how you do it. Another easy yes, another hand raiser. Thanks for choosing us. We know you've got lots of options when buying sleep stuff. We'd love to send you a $10 gift card as a welcome to the family. Reply to this email and let us know where to send it. And now it's a matter of there's just a customer service loop open and you can serve them however they want it, however you're attempting to serve them. So if it is you want to take them from Amazon to your own email list, we'd love to send you a $10 gift card. Let us know where to send it. They reply back, hey, want the $10 gift card. Awesome. You can't send them away from Amazon. So it might be something like, I don't know that you could say what email address should we send that to. I don't know that you could say that. But it might be great. I just went ahead and activated your $10 off gift card. Here it is. By the way, are you on our notification list for when we do discounts? All right, and now you're sending them over to the website. You can't link it, but you're in a customer service loop where they're all into whatever it is that you're promoting. Does it make sense? Give me a yay or a nay in the chat box if you're still with me here. Or some hashtag.
Big hashtag. Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to conclude by talking about building the list. Like how do we get people onto the list? And then we'll take some Q&A. Number one, most physical product owners specifically are really bad at identifying what pain their product solves. Digital product sellers tend to be way better at this. But what problem does your product solve? It's your job to take that pain point and make your product the solution and put a squeeze page up in front. And then you drive traffic to that. That's how you start the process. Now, how do you start driving traffic? My favorite sources, Facebook, YouTube, and solo ads. Solo ads are some of the most redonkulous data. If I were named Gary Vaynerchuk, I would sub solo ads for Instagram influencers. It's targeted traffic. Solo drops are when you can rent someone else's email list and you send them wherever you want, which would be a squeeze page for your product. That's how you could actually go out and get people who have bought beauty products in the last 30 days. And you can email them a link to your beauty product that captures their email address. Really, really great conversion rates on that. Other ways, coupons and contests. So a couple of our backroom members, they got together and they did a big giveaway for a suite of their products combined. It was like a product from you, a product from you, a product from you. And they just did this giveaway where they all shared it on their own Facebook pages. They all shared it on their business pages. And it was a contest. And the way that you entered to win was by sharing the post. They picked a random person to get the giveaway, and they all got a copy of the list. So coupons and contests are a way to drum up attention to a squeeze page. But my favorite is identifying a pain point that your product solves and driving traffic to the squeeze page that captures their email address. Another that I like is product insert bribes. Please, please do not put inserts in your packaging that say, please leave us a 5-star review. That's asking for bedroom time before you've gone on a first date. They just gave you money for your product. Please do not put inserts in packaging asking for something. What's the give? What's the easy yes? Would you want this product? Email us at this and we'll send you one. Go to this website and get a discount. And you're going to collect email addresses that way. And then another one is through retargeting. specifically buyer retargeting. You can export data from wherever your buyers are, put them into Facebook, and retarget those people. Totally cool. You can do this with just Facebook advertising retargeting as well. You got people who are interacting with your page. You can retarget them specifically, take them to a tripwire, take them to a squeeze page, take them to an opt-in form, and get them onto your list that way. That's how you build a list. And then once you have that, you start deploying the 4-part sequence. You start having profitable launches. You start opening up customer service loops, which makes it easier to get reviews, makes it easier to get higher price points, which makes it, you have this army of people who love you, which makes every time you want to release a new product, you've got pre-orders, you've got people ready to buy, you've got people you know are going to review, and that's how you predictably get profitable launches. Boom. All right, I'm done.
Marker drop.
Let's take some Q&A.
Cool.
See, Money, I'm sorry to put this on you, but would you mind throwing some water in here?
Oh, hot water.
Thanks, man. Cold water's fine.
Okay.
What do we got?
When you're writing email subject lines,
Yep.
do you follow a formula, or how do you come up with your subject lines for your emails?
I don't consider myself great at subject lines, but I'll tell you a couple ways. Thanks, man. One, like the easiest and the one that is going to free you up the most is to just think about a pain point or a symptom that they're struggling with and identify that. It's as simple as like still not losing weight, or it could be something like getting in shape for Mother's Day. Let me tell you about Jody. See what we did there? For something like this, hate it when the marker streaks on the board. It's like the obvious pain point, the annoyance, the thing that you can point to that you can call out. That's a really, really simple one. On a more cutesy way, pulling out things in the news tends to work really, really well and makes you look really cool and relevant. So, whoops, I did not mean to do that. That's embarrassing. Just spilling water over here live. So those are the two formulas that I tend to use. One is really, really obvious, like just I'm going for the pain point, and another takes some thought on what's going on in the news.
Cool. Ashley wants to know, how many people would you expect to need on your list in order to get a $40,000 response per se?
Yeah, so yeah. Once there's at least 1,000 people on a list, it's enough to do damage. Now, damage might be 100 sales, but what I have found is that 100 to 500 sales at full price on a product is kind of the tipping point for when things are really meaningful. If you can move 100 products to 500 products at full price at the click of a button, we have meaningful progress. So that might be 1,000 people. It might be 3,000 people, but it's under 5,000 people. We'll say that.
Cool. Kat wants to know if you can recommend any companies for outsourcing customer service to.
I don't recommend outsourcing your customer service.
Oh, you don't?
By outsourcing, closest I would get is somebody virtual to help you, but do not give your customer service to somebody else. Guys, that's a profit center. It's a profit center. Would you outsource your highest converting profit center? Keep it in-house, develop those systems, put in the work. It should be profitable.
Cool. Jeremy wants to know if JumpSend is good for doing emails.
I don't know what that is. I use ActiveCampaign and Aweber. Those are my two favorites as far as automation and ease of use. A lot of people like Infusionsoft, but it's so damn complicated. I can't even get myself to log in. So I'm not going to use it. And if you're not going to use it, it's not going to be valuable to you. So I like ActiveCampaign and I like Aweber.
David wants to know, is it a bad idea to download your orders from Amazon and run an email append to build your email list?
It's a really good question. And I sigh because it's technically against Amazon's terms of service and it's technically illegal. Doesn't mean people don't do it. I'll tell you what I'm okay with. I'm okay if you want to export it, run an email append, take that data, upload it to Facebook, and retarget those people back to your email list. Some people will say, and I'm not condoning this, some people will say they'll take the email append and they'll send one email. The one email is something like, do you want to hear from us? And then invites them to opt in. But just adding those emails to your list, technically not allowed. You could get fined. Plenty of people do it. Gives me the willies. It's not something I'm willing to do.
Got it. Merrick wants to know that once you build your brand new email list, do you try to build initial engagement with content prior to launching the 4-part sequence, or do you go straight for the 4-part sequence?
If you're selling physical products, I'm going straight for the 4-part sequence because they don't want content. They don't want to be engaged. You might warm them up with a pre-launch, like we got this thing we're working on, or you might warm them up with one brand story, hero's journey story about your customers, why you do what you do. You might do that, but sending a bunch of content is not going to do it. So you might send 1 or 2 emails to prep people, but it shouldn't be a long process.
Okay. Drew wants to know, once you've gone through the 4-part email sequence, what do you do in between before you send another 4-part email sequence?
I might do some hand raiser emails, but oftentimes nothing. Oftentimes nothing. I just wait for the next sequence. I wish I had a better answer for you, but a lot of times, like, they don't want to hear from me if there's not a sequence going on. So unless I have a reason to email them, nothing. I might highlight some customer stories. I might, if we get a really cool review, just send them to the review and be like, hey, this was awesome, to keep them engaged, but I'm not planning anything. Just we might react to some things in the news. We might send people to stuff that's going on, but I'm not planning any content outside of the 4-part sequences. That's a great question.
Malio says, sorry for my ignorance. Malio, sorry for my ignorance because I don't know if I'm saying your name right. They want to know, what is solo ads and what is a squeeze page?
All right, I'm going to let you Google that one as far as squeeze pages. Plenty of stuff on YouTube about setting up squeeze pages. Solo ads are the ability to rent other people's email lists. Now, there's lots of brokers out there that will make this easy for you, and there are also websites where you can rent solo ads specifically for your market, specifically for your audience. Like if you want to be in front of people who are into fitness, you can go rent emails. You don't get the emails, you get to rent the space in their email. So you get to pay somebody to email their list on your behalf and then send them to your squeeze page, collect their email address, and now they're on your list. It's one of the most overlooked opportunities. It's like sponsoring Instagram people, but 10 years ago. Like the costs are 10 years ago, and they're more targeted, and they tend to be more responsive. It's a hugely overlooked media space for most people. So brokers are where you can get them. You can just Google fitness solo ad rentals, and there's lots and lots of trainings out there specifically about that type of marketing. You want to pick your favorite one that's left.
Oh, this is hard. There's a lot of questions.
Oh boy.
Wow, there's a lot. All right, I'm just gonna go with Grain. With a list of 4,000 people, how often should you send offers to your list?
Only on the days that you want to make money. I'll give you another one since
Okay.
that was
You
easy.
can't overdo it.
I tend to do it no more often than every other week if I'm doing a dedicated 4-part sequence. If I'm not doing a 4-part sequence, then I might email more frequently if I'm sending them to product reviews or cool things going on. But I tend to do sequences no more often than every other week. It's usually less than that, but that's the most I would do it. Hand raisers, I will do every day until the cows come home. They're value adds. I want as many of those inbounds as possible. Was that C-Money?
And a move sound effect.
You just did a moo sound effect? All right. I don't know the context for this.
Until the cows come home?
Oh, I said until the cows come home. All right. One more.
Mike wants to know if you can give an example of how customer service can be profitable. He wants to.
Yeah, because your customer service team should have follow-ups that get them into specific sequences and systems. For example, your customer service people should know that if someone writes in with a compliment, they should have a script for turning that into a review. If somebody writes in and says, do you have a solution for this? Your customer service should know that they say, yes, here's how to order. It's inbound sales. If you stop calling it customer service and you start calling it inbound sales, that will change the way that you interact with your customers, because it needs a process for taking them from inquiry to conversion. And so when you've got those systems in place on customer service, you want as many of those as possible. Put them through a sequence. They'll be better served and it'll be a profitable part of your business.
Right, we have one more question.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, William Ramirez wants to know, how many days do you take to send the 4-part email sequence? Do you send it day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, or do you put space?
Look, I tend to do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, but I have no reason for doing that. That's probably because it's like Monday, I got to get it done. Tuesday, I'm like, well, that worked. Let's do it again. Wednesday, I'm bored with it. Thursday, oh shoot, I got to come up with a deadline. Friday, today's a good deadline. Like, I don't have a real reason for doing it that way. It's just what I've always done. So the one thing that I would suggest is that you wrap it up in 7 days or less. So if you're going to start it on Sunday, have it wrapped up by the following Sunday. And you have my permission to email as frequently within that block of time as possible. All right, so your assignment is to run one of these. Take your email list, run a sequence to them, or get some hands raised and put them through a sequence of now ordering something. Turn customer service from a cost center into a profit center. This is how we get tons of reviews. This is how we launch new products profitably. This is how we turn small lists into having a big impact, because we're getting the response rate to products, to content, and this is how we're scaling things, because it gives us a predictable sequence for taking products that would normally just sit on the shelf, and we get them to rank for keywords, we get reviews behind them, and it's how we get the momentum going to move this thing. That's how we do it. That's the secret behind all my businesses. So run one of these, experiment with it. It's really hard to lose money when it's free to hit send and you give people the opportunity to buy. So even if you've got a small list, if you can get a bump in 10 sales a day from this, that's enough to do damage. That can turn somebody from a discouraged entrepreneur to an encouraged entrepreneur and gives them momentum to keep scaling and keep moving forward. It's a snowball. It keeps on building, and email is the way that we get the ball moving. Thanks, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the secrets behind my success. This 4-part email sequence that's made me millions of dollars, quite literally millions of dollars.
All right, before you sign off, I have a couple quick announcements, and then we'll be good to go. So with this session, there is a bonus that will be added to the members area, and that bonus is an SOP used by Ryan's team at the initiative. So be sure to check that out. If you are not in the members area, if you don't have access to the members area, email us at support@capitalism.com and let us
You'll
know.
be put into a customer service loop.
You'll be put into a customer service loop and upsold into a profitable.
Yeah.
Just let us know that you don't have access to the members area. We'll get you into the members area. And last thing, don't forget next week on Thursday at 2 p.m., we have Ezra Firestone talking about Facebook and Instagram ads and ManyChat. So be there or be square. See you next week, guys.